Hey gang, welcome back to the office. Here we are again, more charter questions for the BVI. This is volume 3. We've got a lot of questions today about should I captain my own charter or hire a captain, and what qualifications do I need in order to charter my own boat. And so we'll get into a lot of that. Updates. I was headed to the BVI in about a week. Today is August 4th where I'm filming, and we were headed to the BVI in 9 days on the 13th. But as some of you know or may not know, the BVI has kind of sort of shut down because of COVID again. So the restrictions are, as long as you're vaccinated, you can still come into the country. You got to take a COVID test as soon as you arrive. You do not have to quarantine. However, all of the restaurants and bars are closed. All of them. Soggy Dollar, Foxy's, all of them. And you can do takeout, but you can't go to any of those fabulous places. Also, a lot of the beaches are okay, depending on if they're official beaches or not. You can grab your own beach somewhere. You can grab a mooring ball anywhere. You can go anywhere you want. You just can't enjoy what really the BVI is kind of all about. So having done that and seen that happen, we canceled our trip. MARINEMAX was great to give us a refund. So basically my wife and I and the 3 other couples, we're going to go to Croatia. How weird is this? That BVI is shut down, but Croatia is wide open. Who knows? Who knows? We're going to go to Croatia. We're going to get on Sea Dream Yacht Club, and we're going to float around for a week. So that's what we're up to. But I'm still here for your BVI questions. I know a lot of people are still going. They've booked this trip for a long time, and be damned, we're going to go do this. And good for you. I'm glad you're doing it. It's exactly what you should do. I'm just going to wait until it's all wide open again, which it could be 2022. And I know a lot of you have booked trips in 2022, and that's probably the smart thing to do. I have now canceled 3 trips this year to the BVI because it opens, then it closes. It's just a mess. Anyway, that's the update there. Okay, let's go to the questions. Here we go. All right, starting off with a really tough one. Hey, is that a Jimmy Johnson helmet on the shelf behind your bar? Well, he's referring to the video, the 7-day itinerary from BVI, and up in the right-hand corner, yep, there it is. That is a Jimmy Johnson hat and lunchbox. Yes, signed by the 7-time champ himself, Jimmy Johnson. I think it's 7 times. I lost count. I don't know. Yes, I mean, I was a huge NASCAR fan. Not so much anymore since Jimmy kind of retired and went off. But yeah, big NASCAR fan. Yeah, I'm from the South. What do you expect? I am a hillbilly. We know that. Okay, I was looking at Omars on Tortola, and it looks like it has changed from Omars Fusion to Omars Cafe. Do you know if it's the same food and owners? I've been touting this restaurant for a while now. It's on Tortola, Soper's Hole. I called them because I was a little confused too, because I looked on a map and I did see an Omars Cafe. I called them and I asked them, hey, what's going on? Apparently it's the same place. It's just sometimes on some maps it's called Omars Cafe and sometimes it's called Omars Fusion. If you go on their website, it's straight up Omars Fusion. So, same place. Do you have to reserve mooring balls ahead of time? Generally, no. First come, first serve generally everywhere. However, last time I went, I did run into balls that had to be reserved at Cooper Island. Now, the ones that are first come, first serve are the white balls. The orange, it's either orange or yellow, I can't remember, are reserved. And you go to boatyball.com, BOATYBALL.com. Go there in advance, and you can reserve your ball. Now, why reserve it? Well, these balls are just a little bit closer to the dock. They're right in front of the resort. All the free ones, first come, first serve, are off to the right or left. A little bit further of a dinghy ride, not that big of a deal. I mean, we're talking about the difference in a 2-minute dinghy ride and a 5-minute dinghy ride. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a bay, McAneal Bay there. So it's a little annoying to me about that. The only thing I don't like about reserving a mooring ball, that means you're locked in to going to Cooper Island on that day because you have reserved a mooring ball. Well, what if something happens? What if, hey, I'd rather stay in Anagata a couple of extra days, or let's skip Cooper Island. Then you know, it's like I don't like being locked in that much, and there are plenty of free mooring balls out there to grab. I don't really see the advantage of reserving a mooring ball. A friend tried to scare me off going to Anagata Island due to shallow coral. My research says stay outside and follow buoy markers, red right, that's correct, and you're okay. What has been your experience navigating into Anagata? Look, it's a piece of cake. Tell your friend to take a chill pill and not be so nervous. It's very shallow going in there, and there's rocks all around, but there is a very clear path lined up for you, red on right, green on left, Just follow it right in, go nice and slow, and you will be fine. As a matter of fact, when you make your final turn into the bay there at Anagata, there's generally a couple of locals out there in dinghies, and they'll actually help you get to a mooring ball. They'll actually hand you the hook to the mooring ball. They have an ulterior motive. They also want you to book dinner at their place, but that's okay. But they're very nice and very sweet, and they help you get in. So do not be afraid about going to Anagata. It is not that difficult. People talk about, oh my gosh, you got to make sure you go in the right way. It is clearly marked. So unless you are sufficiently inebriated, which is possible, you're not going to miss it, and you'll be fine. All right, here's a question I really love. I love your catamaran videos, especially the Exumas. Hiring a crewed catamaran in the Caribbean is on my bucket list. Good, 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 good. I'm looking at buying a GoPro 9. Do you use any special lens filters when shooting video in the Caribbean? Is there anything you suggest I get for the new GoPro while I'm at it? I have an old Hero 3, so some of the accessories should still work for the 9. I appreciate anything you care to share. Get all those accessories from that GoPro 3 and give them to your kids. You don't want to transfer that up to a GoPro 9. It's a completely different beast. Probably the accessories would work, but if you're going to spend the money, let's get some really good stuff, right? All right, let's talk about GoPro. I've talked about this before, but not in real detail. I'll do it now because more and more charterers are shooting video and what have you, and a GoPro is essential in the BVI or Caribbean or wherever you are on a boat. It just is. Out of all of my videos that you see, probably 60 to 70% of the footage is from a GoPro. I have been using GoPro 8s. I'll probably go up to a GoPro 9 next time out, and it's just simply a wonderful tool. I do not put any filters on lens on any of mine. What I do is I run it at 1080 HD. I will run it at wide. You can do normal, wide, and super wide. Super wide's a little too wide for me. Normal, too narrow. Wide is perfect for me. I run it at 1080 HD, wide, and here's the key. My frame rate is always 120 frames. Always. Why? Well, when you're shooting GoPro, generally you're shooting action. Not all the time, but a lot of the time you're shooting action. And of course, what's more cool than having action go down into slow-mo, right? Well, the way you create beautiful, fluid slow-mo is to capture a lot of frames, then slow it down. If you roll it at 24 frames or 30 frames, it's not going to look that great when you slow-mo. It's actually going to be quite jittery. 60 frames is better. 120 frames is perfect because it's the perfect speed when you slow it down. 40% is what it is, and it just looks fabulous. Now, you're saying, all right, well, but what if I don't want it to be in slow-mo? You're okay if you edit in 24 frames per second. So if you have Final Cut Pro or even iMovie or something like that, set your project at 24 frames per second. And then when you put in that 120 frame GoPro video into that project, it'll convert it right down to 24 frames and it'll look normal. It'll look just like what this looks like right now. I'm rolling this at 24 frames right now. This is not a GoPro, it's a much better camera, but I'm rolling this at 24 frames. So the great thing about it is, even though you've gotten it back down to 24 frames, you shot it at 120 frames. So there are a ton of frames in there that you can use when you slow it down, because basically you're stretching the shot long, right? And as you stretch it, the more frames you have in there, the smoother it will be. I hope that makes sense. So that's why I roll it at 120 frames. It only works outside in the sun because the higher frame rate you go, the less light that comes into it. So if you're shooting a GoPro at night, you got to take that sucker back down to 24 frames to let more light in. Hope that makes sense. Oh, and as far as filters are concerned, I don't put a filter on it, but I do put a filter on it in editing. I've just got a bevy of filters and LUTs and things that I put on, and I put a little vignette around it. I do a lot of stuff to color correct it in editing. That's up to you as to what you want your footage to look like. I started watching your videos on the BVI charters, and you have convinced me that I need to book one. Fantastic. Glad I could help. I actually spoke to a rep at MARINEMAX today. For your first charter, would you recommend using a skipper? I am able to skipper myself, but have been going back and forth with the skipper idea. On one hand, I feel a skipper would be beneficial on showing you around on your first trip, but they take up cabin space. On the other hand, I feel that there is enough info out there and your videos to be able to make it a good trip without one. And it frees up a cabin. Any suggestions on a skipper or no skipper would be greatly appreciated. Well, look, this is entirely up to you. And this is all about stress level. And I'm completely serious. If you're the type of person who stresses out a little bit about having the responsibility of the boat, the safety of your passengers, and just generally not running into a rock or something, doing something dumb, then let it go. Then hire a captain. Look, trust me, it's great to be able to hit the mimosas first thing in the morning and keep them coming all day long, right? And have somebody else drive you around. What's wrong with that? That's a great, and those captains in the BVI, they're fabulous guys and gals. They're really great. And it's really worth it, I think. Is it necessary? I don't think so. I think it's so easy getting around in the BVI. If you know how to operate a vessel, you'll be fine. It is so easy getting from one island to the next. It's short, it's sweet. There's help all around you if you get lost or what have you. I don't know how you can get lost. There's an island everywhere. But it's so easy to captain a boat in the BVI. I would captain the boat. The first time I went, I wasn't that experienced, but I did okay because I just did my research and I was ready. And I don't get stressed out about those sorts of things, right? I figure, well, if I mess up, I'll just call somebody and have them come help me and fix it for me, right? So it really depends on you and your stress level, how much responsibility you want during your wonderful BVI once-in-a-lifetime vacation. Take it seriously. Yes, you lose a cabin and there's a person on that you don't know all week. However, they're so friendly and wonderful, you'll get to know them real quick and it'll be fine. So it's up to you. First-time cruisers. We spent a week in BVI with MARINEMAX Vacations on an Aquila 44 in May, and I can't believe I haven't thanked you yet. Your videos were spot on and all of the advice was a big help and greatly appreciated. I can't imagine us having made that first charter without the help of all your videos. Keep up the good work, and we will share your channel with anyone looking to sail. I never miss an opportunity for a compliment. That's why I read it. Oh well. We are headed to the BVI in September 22nd, 2021. I hope it's open by then. Super excited. Question. My beautiful wife, in quotations, smart man, and I sailed the BVI in October 2019 with a captain on the moorings. We are planning to sail alone on this trip. I have a lot of boating experience, but not so much with sailing. We didn't sail much last time because there was no wind. Should I be confident that the moorings is going to turn us loose with their 44er, or is there something I need to do to look better in their eyes? Okay, I am going to link this question with another question I got. They go hand in hand. Here's the other question. What boat certifications or classes did you take to skipper your charter with the moorings? Obviously, those go hand in hand. One's talking about sailing, one's talking about motorboating, right? All right, well, sailing, look, I'm not a sailor, so I can't tell you exactly what they require as far as experience. What you do is you go on their website and there's a form you fill out, and it's a big questionnaire. And you just fill it out and you be honest about your experience and what you've chartered before, what you've captained before, how long, how many times. And basically by the time you fill it out, they tell you whether you're approved or not. Now, if you're not approved and you think you should be, you can call them, they'll answer, and you can plead your case. But again, I don't know exactly what specific things they're looking for when it comes to sailing. So I don't know. I would give them a call or fill out that form. I can tell you exactly what they're looking for when it comes to the Power Cats. I talked about this on volume 1 of Charter Questions. You go to uspowerboating.com. I took basic powerboating and inshore cruising. Both of those courses qualified me instantly to operate any of their boats. So, and they're really great courses. It takes a couple of months to get them done. They're not cheap, but it's really good. Or if you just have a ton of experience on boats that are the same size as what you're about to charter, you should pass with flying colors. Okay, that's it. Your questions are brilliant. They keep coming in. I am so sad that I'm not going to the BVI next week. It's been heart-wrenching that I sit here and I talk about it all year long, yet I haven't been able to go. A lot of people have gone. I just don't like going under these conditions. I'd rather be able to do exactly everything I want to do. But I also have the luxury of traveling a lot, so it's not like a once-in-a-lifetime thing for me, and I've been there a lot too. So, but anyway, sooner or later I'm going to get back to the BVI and we're going to make some fabulous videos. And so just keep your questions coming. I'll keep my comments coming, and I appreciate you guys watching all my videos. All of my BVI videos and Bahama videos and everything sailing and motoring and what have you is linked below. Take a look at it. Thanks. Don't forget to subscribe.